Hello? Hello, I hope this is working. So, I was just kind of scrolling, bored, looking at this goofy ass app. It shows a bunch of weird stories, and I found one that looks, interesting. That supposedly diabetes is not from sweets. Um, so, naturally, we're gonna believe everything they say, because they're obviously correct. Definitely. So some experts say it can't be done, but our tests show otherwise. Okay. So these people are better than the experts. That's how you know this is true. Renner tried the special blend reported remarkable improvements in managing their type 2 diabetes. Their blood sugar levels dropped effortlessly without restrictive diets or giving up the foods they love. Discover why this affordable solution is not being preferred over metformin. If you're living with type 2 diabetes, you need to watch a short video. It could transform your life. This video is definitely going to be true, as we all know. So let's watch, shall we?
It took everyone by surprise. A team of cellular experts at the University of Dusseldorf in Germany took a closer look at the pancreas of 260 diabetics using high-tech phase contrast microscopes. What they found was straight out of a sci-fi movie. The pancreas was smothered in a toxic blanket of zombie cells, not quite dead, but not fully alive.
So far we know what, it's zombie cells or something stupid like that. This is already pretty true. This already seems pretty correct.
These toxic cells shut down insulin production and forced people to rely on insulin shots.
Okay, you cannot convince me otherwise. But, this is incorrect. This is obviously
Which
true.
proved that all along, not beating diabetes was not your fault. Because no matter how well you followed your doctor's advice, until you remove the toxic blanket around your pancreas, you're only treating the effects, not the cause. In the next 4 minutes, I'll show you how anyone
It's
at
Tom
any
Green, the
age can
diabetes
target
expert.
and eliminate the root cause of type 2 diabetes for good by waking up a dormant part of your immune system and unlocking its power.
Okay, so you have to unlock the power of some part of your immune system.
To clean not only your pancreas, but your heart, kidneys, and brain too. Reversing diabetes in days and slashing your risk of heart attack, kidney failure, or Alzheimer's.
Oh my
And
God.
however complicated this may seem, it's 100% natural, easy to use, and cheaper than your daily coffee. It can be done from home and starts working almost immediately. It's the only tested method that allows you to say goodbye to your erratic blood sugar levels for good. We've been trying to crack the code on diabetes treatments, and we noticed something totally bizarre that everyone else seemed to overlook. A toxic blanket of zombie cells was smothering the pancreas and
Notice how it's
blocking
off
insulin
sync.
production in the
The noise
sneakiest
and
way.
barking.
Imagine trying to breathe with your nose pinched shut. Not going to happen, right?
Breathe through your
That's
mouth.
what these cells are doing to the pancreas. But now that we see what's going on, we can start fixing it. This isn't the only group of experts who figured out these zombie cells are stopping the pancreas from producing insulin. Harvard scientists confirmed that zombie cells are the culprit behind insulin resistance. Cambridge University calls these cells the biggest enemy of diabetics. And Oxford University identifies them as the real reason why diabetes just won't leave your body. This life-changing solution has passed multiple trials before reaching you today in its final form, and holds a 100% efficiency rate with more than
So what is
112,000
this
test subjects.
forsaken diabetes treatment that we've spent however long listening to, just being told it's good?
Now,
What
you're
even
probably
is it?
wondering why you didn't read about this on the front page of your favorite newspaper.
Yeah, because they don't read newspapers.
Here's the thing. For any medical breakthrough to hit the headlines, it's got to get the thumbs up from the big guys like
That's
pharmaceutical
why no
companies,
one knows about
research
this,
institutes,
not
and
'cause
medical
it's fake.
organizations. And when a discovery like ours could turn their cash flow into a dribble, it gets suppressed. That's why we couldn't stay silent. Not
I see. So it's not that they're lying, it's that the greedy big
when every 17
corporations are.
seconds an American is diagnosed as diabetic. And every 7 seconds, a diabetic around the world is dying because of a coma, stroke, or severe infection. And especially since we know this works, even in the most difficult cases of type 2 diabetes. Daniel Lopez, 53, was at death's door when he tried it. At 258 pounds, he had already suffered a heart attack, and his eyesight and kidneys were failing. After seeing this breakthrough research, he freed himself in less than 2 months of his type 2, and 18 months later, he's still a free man. Tanya Barley, 62, from Birmingham, England, was told there was no cure,
so
and she
then
had an
what
increased
is
risk of
this?
heart attack, stroke, and blood.
Seriously though, what even is the cure? Stop telling us it's
But
good.
now, after 7 weeks of treatment,
Tom
she's
Green.
diabetes-free
the
and
fuck
says,
is the
All my
cure?
blood test
Tell
levels
us.
are within normal range, and my
Tell us
cholesterol
the
and
cure,
blood
Tom
pressure
Green.
levels are
We
normal.
want to know
And
the
Angelina
cure.
Trout
We
is
don't
urging us
care.
to make this method known to everyone because it saved her life.
It's the only treatment that has worked for me.
Tell
So
us
please
the
pay attention
treatment.
to this life-changing presentation because I don't know how long I can keep it up. We need to spread the word quickly so people can regain
Thank
their
you,
health.
Tom Green.
Scientists
Finally, you're
admit
gonna
that
show
the
it.
miraculous power of this method
Oh,
consists
God
in its triple
damn
action
it.
approach. First, it restores normal function to your
Stop
pancreas.
explaining how it
Second,
works and
allows
say
insulin
it.
to flow freely
You
through our
already said
body.
this.
And third, it brings glucose down to healthy levels. Now, if you're
Okay, imagine like someone seriously needs a diabetes treatment and you find this. And you have to watch up until here just to figure out what it is, and you probably still don't get
I
it.
totally get
Yeah, I
it.
am skeptical. You
Emotions
won't say
can
it.
run high, especially when you've tried all
Oh,
sorts of
shit.
treatments for a long time with
Explain
no
it.
success. But starting today, things are going to change, and you'll
Okay,
reverse
starting
your type
now,
2
you're gonna
diabetes.
explain it.
At first, your glucose levels will decrease day
Oh,
after
God
day.
damn it.
Then you'll get more energetic. Your mind will be sharper, and you'll regain your zest for life. And most
Your zest. What the fuck? It's got this thing. This turned you gay.
importantly, after years of poor sleep, you'll feel rested and light, and the pounds will start to drop before your very eyes. It's as if you became
You know what else
10
I
years
would
younger
I'd
in
like to
6
drop?
weeks.
Is you not telling us what it is?
You'll forget about the daily injections, the fatigue, the cravings, about the horrible side effects of the medications, and you'll regain the freedom to be healthy, the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah, whenever
whenever
you
want.
explain the
freedom to eat your
cure.
favorite foods, and the energy to play with your kids or grandkids for hours.
Shit.
So let's start. Hi, my name is Tom Green, and I teach biochemistry at a pretty
Finally.
renowned university.
Thank
I'm
you.
married to my high school sweetheart Marcy, and we have 2 great kids, Jack and
I don't care.
We're the kind of family that loves sports.
I hope that
health,
Jack and
just
Jelly
spending time together.
Crack their heads open.
Out of
You can't skip forward.
the blue, my diabetes nightmare began. Back in the summer of 2018, I couldn't shake off the crazy thirst, and I was hitting the bathroom more than ever. It got me worried. I thought maybe it's a prostate issue. So off I went to see a urologist. After a bunch of tests, the doctor gave me a clean bill of health for my prostate. It was in tip-top shape. But that left me wondering what was really going on. Well, it wouldn't be long before I found out, because 3 weeks later, after celebrating my
Diet.
wife's anniversary, having a glass of wine and some cake, I landed myself in the ER with a glucose reading of 475. Next thing I remember is the doctors looking down at me saying I've got diabetes, and I was this close to slipping into a coma. Diabetes? Coma? I could barely get the words out. The
Thank
doctor
God you
broke it
survived,
down
Dr.
for me.
Tom
I
Green.
needed
He
to
can
change
tell
my
us
diet
how to
completely,
do it.
Start exercising more, drop some pounds, and juggle 3 different types of medication. Not to mention, I had to check my glucose levels a few times a day and write everything down to see if my meds needed tweaking. For how long? I asked. For the rest of your life, Mr. Green. There's no cure for diabetes. We'll just keep switching up your medication as the disease evolves. And then he's gone, just like that. Truth be told, I was angry. The doctor already said the disease would only get worse, so why did I need so many meds?
Holy shit.
And I just couldn't understand how I ended up here, since I thought I was eating a pretty healthy diet. So I went to get a second opinion. But when the second doctor ended up telling
Okay,
me the
great.
exact same thing, I felt
So you
sad,
told us the real
disappointed,
cure
and
next,
frustrated.
right?
Sad because my illness was confirmed, upset with myself for letting it happen, and annoyed because
Why
the treatment wasn't even a cure, as the
Won't you
doctor
say
said.
it?
But I rolled up my sleeves and followed their advice as best as I could. And for a while, things were looking okay, even though sometimes I faced low energy levels, dizziness, or brain fog, all standard issues for folks with diabetes. That's until the summer of 2021, when I decided to take my son Jack hiking. We planned a 3-day trip, packed everything we need.
Why
set
would
out
you
ready
take
for
a
some quality
3-day
sunshine.
trip hiking
We
when you
reached
have
the base of the mountain
diabetes?
early in the morning and set out to reach the halfway point by sundown so we could set up camp. However, about 4 hours into the climb, I did something stupid.
Of course you did.
Instead of pausing to
Tom
study a
Green.
map and figure out where we needed to go, I kept moving until we hit a treacherous, steep path. And the next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground with a nasty blow to my left leg.
Ouchie.
I didn't take it too seriously right then. I picked myself up, splashed some water on the cut to clean it, and pressed on. We made it to our campsite, got our tents up, filled our bellies with a good meal, called it a night under the stars. But the next morning I felt a very sharp pain when I tried to step on my foot, and I felt a bit feverish.
Well, yeah, no shit.
I checked
You, like,
my
cut
wound,
your
and it was showing signs of infection.
thing.
I later learned that it can happen quite easily to diabetics because of all the excess sugar we have running around in our blood. I knew I couldn't make it down the same way because of the steep terrain. There was a ranger cabin a few miles from where we
Okay.
were, so I thought we'd go there and get some help. We packed
Now
everything
this
and headed
is
for the cabin.
like a horror
Along the way,
story
the pain
movie.
grew sharper and sharper, and I was dripping sweat like Niagara because of my fever. I tried to push on as much as I could, but I could feel my strength leaving my legs. The only thing that kept me going was the fear that if I collapsed, my son would be stranded in this wilderness, having to choose between abandoning me to go get help, which could prove fatal since there were bear sightings around the mountain, or try to drag my unconscious body into the ranger's cabin, which would prove an impossible task for a 13-year-old. So I gritted my teeth, then pushed through all the pain and fever. It took us
Oh,
about
Dr.
2.5
Tom Green,
hours
you're
to
my
reach the
hero.
cabin. And as soon as we did,
And you would
I
be
collapsed
even a
right
better
on the front
hero
porch. They
if
had
you
to carry
told
me
us
to
the
nearest hospital
cure.
to properly clean the wound. After the procedure, Dr. Stevens came to fill me in. Mr. Green, we've done our best to scrub the wound clean, and we're waiting to see how your body takes it from here. But I've got to be honest with you. It's looking like we might have to go in surgically. The wound's pretty deep. What? Surgery? From a cut? I asked. Yes, Mr. Green. You see, the bacteria that jumped into your wound love sugar like a kid loves candy. That's the trouble with diabetes. It rolls out the welcome mat for infections. We're going to start you on meds for the infection. And your diet, you've got to tighten that up even more. If you don't
One
manage to keep your
broccoli
blood sugar
is
under
dinner.
control, your infection will continue to grow.
That doesn't
and it could
even
lead
make
to an
sense.
amputation. This left me speechless. I lost my grip on reality. Then the doctor continued, come back in a month to check on the progress, and then we'll decide if we do the surgery. On my way home, I didn't utter a single word because I was still in shock of losing my leg. It felt terrible. The next few days, I fell into a deep, dark hole of depression, and the 4 meds for the infection, together with the insulin shots, made me feel like a zombie. It got pretty rough. I'd get dizzy spells, diarrhea, and
Okay,
just
I'm gonna
start
point out-
sweating like crazy.
I'm not trying to make fun of people with diabetes, but I am trying to make fun of Dr. Tom Green for not
Explaining what this magical cure is.
Crazy out of nowhere. This was followed by nights when I woke up screaming. I had nightmares about the doctor amputating my leg. Once I woke up in cold sweats, dreaming I had a heart attack. I was also terrified that diabetes would bring me Alzheimer's. I'd read on the internet that some doctors refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. After dealing with all these awful thoughts and feelings, I started to realize something was really messed up. It was clear I couldn't keep living like that. So I just fell to my knees, broke down crying, and prayed. I asked God for forgiveness because I didn't pay attention to the early signs of diabetes. Then I asked God to help me find a way out of this nightmare. After letting go and putting my trust in a higher power, I finally felt relief and realized I only had 2 options. First off, I could continue taking the meds my doctors prescribed with all those nasty side effects forever and put my life in the hands of this broken system that wants to chop off my leg. Or I could choose the second option and fight for my life, seek out the true cause of diabetes, and eliminate it from my body forever. Something
Good luck with
inside
that.
told me option 2 was the only way. From that day on, I knew my new mission in life was to beat this thing.
Okay.
And suddenly I felt a renewed ambition.
So you did find it.
determination burning inside of me. For the next week, I spent all my time searching for information about diabetes, anything that could help me.
Brother.
I signed up to medical sites, I called up universities to find details about the studies they published, and I read endless reports of clinical trials, but found nothing new. The conclusions
yeah.
were always the same. Take
No shit. If there was something different, I don't know, there'd probably be a cure by now.
your medication and act like a diabetic. Well, that was the whole point. I didn't want to be like every other diabetic.
Oh, he
Then
didn't
I
want to be like
stumbled
the other
upon
guys.
biometers.
I see.
Big Pharma is shelling out a whopping $2.3 billion a year to get doctors to hype up their drugs. And the New York Times revealed that doctors are now writing 50% more prescriptions than before, each costing us $60 more than it should. This made my stomach turn. But there's always a silver lining, as I also discovered something that genuinely made a difference for me. There were comments on a forum and amazing stories of men and women who'd successfully reversed their type 2 diabetes without using medication,
shit.
but with a
Finally.
help of a doctor named Helga, a
Helga.
microbiologist from Germany who apparently was now in the USA. Emily Johnson, a 67-year-old lady, said that with Helga's help, she went from an advanced form of diabetes
already
taking
explained
3
what the
shots
cure
of
can
insulin
do.
a day, to completely kicking diabetes out of her life. I found tons of stories, including one about a guy my age who somehow reversed his type 2 in just 11 days. Reading those lit a spark of hope in me. I thought maybe I could beat this thing too. I got fired up and started posting on forums, telling my story.
Listen to me, Dr. Tom Green. I don't give a shit on how you found the cure. No one does. We just want to know what the cure is.
And asking if anyone knew Helga. I was determined to track her
If
down.
anyone-
4 days
Jesus Christ, you just went around saying, do you guys know Helga? Hey, you. Do you know who Helga is?
later, to my great
Probably a
surprise,
made-up woman.
a lady calls me and says, "Hi, I'm Helga. I think I can help you."
Jesus Christ.
My heart must have skipped a beat. She gave me an address not too far away to meet the following day. I didn't ask anything else. I simply had to meet her. Arriving at the address,
And then Dr. Tom Green was found dead 3 days later.
I found a small but charming house with a lady gathering plants in the yard. I called out, "Helga?" She turned around, waved me over, and invited me to sit at the table on the terrace. We introduced ourselves, and I began to tell her about my diabetes, the problems with my leg, how I'd done everything to get better, but felt increasingly worse. "You are my last hope, Helga," I told her. Then she began to tell me her story. Helga specializes in cell morphology, which means she studies the structure, shape, and function of
I'm actually gonna stop watching this. Oh. This is what the cure is. How am I this stupid? I thought it was gonna be like some of those stupid... You get a discounted Sugar Defender? Oh, thank God. See, those nasty corporations would make you spend, like, what, $60 extra than you need to, but now... You can buy one tiny-ass bottle of whatever the fuck this is, and boom! You only have to pay $69, see? Also nice.
cells. She's super passionate about her work. During one of her studies, while researching 260 patients with various...
Okay, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Maybe I'll make a part 2 or some shit where I finish it and talk about it. I can't. Dr. Tom Green... kill yourself.